Hi, it's Luke Chow at the new Morpheus Clinic for Hypnosis in Toronto, Canada, where we make hypnosis make sense. I'm sitting here in our fully set up classroom at 49 Elm Street, and I have in my hand here the book Preconceived by Zale Mednick, who is the host of the Preconceived podcast. Earlier in the year, he asked me to contribute a chapter to this book on hypnosis, which I did, and which I'm going to now read to you. Since I've had some requests for ASMR content, I'm doing my best to do this in an ASMR style. Your comments on my delivery would be appreciated. Every hypnotist knows that the first thing you must do with a new client is to dispel any misconceptions. Since we need the client's cooperation, they cannot start with the wrong idea about how hypnosis will work, or their progress could be hampered by fear, mistrust, or passivity. Most of the common misconceptions about hypnosis fall into two opposing categories. Either that hypnosis is less powerful than it actually is, or that it's more powerful than it actually is. Those who believe it's less powerful than it is think of hypnosis as a placebo at best, like much of alternative medicine. Those who believe it's more powerful think hypnosis can force people to do things against their will, that it gives people supernatural powers, or that it's otherwise magic. Sometimes you'll find both beliefs in the same person. Don't try that hypnosis stuff on me. It's not going to work. In the modern world, the value of subjective experience is often overlooked in favor of what can be measured objectively. Even though we each live in our own subjective experiences, our inner realms are largely outside the purview of science and medicine. That's how "it's a placebo" became synonymous with "it doesn't work" in many people's minds. Even though the placebo effect must be controlled for in clinical trials precisely because it causes participants to experience actual relief. Hypnosis works through the power of suggestion too, but unlike placebos, there's no element of deceit. We might be the only profession that explicitly tells clients we're using the power of suggestion, and our verbal suggestions can give more specific guidance than a sugar pill or a saline injection. If we acknowledge that our subjective experiences matter, we can no longer dismiss hypnosis or the power of suggestion simply because it works through an unseen psychological mechanism. The state we call hypnosis allows the client to suspend their usual mode of thinking and accept new ideas more readily. It feels like an intensified version of the state you're in when you're listening wholeheartedly to your favorite instructor or storyteller. The ideas being suggested should, at least in my view, be truthful and reassuring, or truthful and empowering. Never fantasy or wishful thinking. Quality ideas are easy to accept regardless of how hypnotized the client is, while unhelpful ideas aren't worth accepting at any depth. The good news is that hypnosis does not make people completely suggestible, even when it makes them more suggestible. If the hypnotist makes a suggestion that you find objectionable, you won't accept it, and you will probably start to question everything else they have to say, too. As it turns out, many medical problems and many more non-medical problems benefit from a change in attitude and sometimes even resolve completely when you think about them differently. For example, when a smoker fully embraces the thoughts and views of a non-smoker, smoking no longer feels right, the way that stepping outside for a breath of fresh air does. When an insomniac is able to adopt the mindset of someone who enjoys bedtime and looks forward to their sleep, they will feel less anxiety and fall asleep more easily. When somebody who has irritable bowel syndrome starts to trust their body and communicate with their gut the same way they would speak to a friend, they will feel more comfortable with their body and experience a higher quality of life. Hypnosis makes it easier to accept these new ways of thinking, but it's the new ways of thinking that cause long-term change. In short, hypnosis isn't fake, nor is it magic. If you understand hypnotism as the skillful use of verbal suggestions to help people turn inwardly and accept new ideas, you will understand its power without overestimating its capabilities. Thanks for listening. Again, the book is Preconceived, edited by Zale Mednick with contributions from experts in various fields such as myself. If you enjoy this content, please like, subscribe, and if you have any comments on my ASMR-like delivery, please leave them below. Thank you.